With modern facilities and institutions and a growing number of ways to spend your free time, the City of Durant has all of the ingredients to nurture a rewarding and comfortable way of life.
Main Street anchors historic downtown Durant, occupying about a 9-block area. It's replete with locally owned shops and a burgeoning number of spots for dining and entertainment. This monument to the area's peanut growing industry, what's claimed to be the world's largest peanut, sits in front of City Hall. It's just one of the many
Would everybody call to order? Roll call?
Board Member Dufer,
Present.
Board Member Lambert, absent. Board Member Moore,
Present.
Board Member Olson,
Present.
Board Member Stoutville is absent. Board Member Tucker,
Present.
Board Member Thomas,
Present.
Vice Chairman Shear is absent. Chairman Craig is absent.
All right, consent items? No, I didn't know we've never done. We've never done that before. No. So what you just want to read through this?
Yeah, consent items.
All right, consent items. Consider approval for October 5th, 2022 minutes.
I'll vote to approve.
I'll second.
All right, call to a vote?
Board Member Duper,
Yes.
Board Member Moore,
Yes.
Board Member Olson,
Aye.
Board Member Tucker,
Yes.
Board Member Thomas,
Yes.
All right, swearing in ceremony of Nicole Tucker. Hello.
and we've already done the swear in, so we just introduced and.
All right. It goes on, consider items removed from consent. It doesn't have anything. Information items, director's report.
So with this, the main thing I wanted to point out at this advisory board meeting is the fuel gallons movement at the airport for the last year. So I attached a copy of the gallon information that I had received from Titan Aviation for the amount of gallons that we've received from between 2021 and 2022. You can notice it's a substantial difference. When they sent this was the beginning of December. Since then, we've actually had 2 more loads of Jet A delivered to the airport, which brings our total for Jet A at the airport for 2022 up to 222,789 gallons. As you can see, in 2021, the airport only moved 169,710 gallons. So that is a substantial increase on jet fuel moved at the airport in just that year. Also, too, on Avgas, 2021 showed 50,542, and we have moved 54,011 gallons of 100 low lead in 2022. So, 4,000 gallon increase approximately. It's still pretty significant considering most of our 100 low lead sales are maybe 20, 30 gallons at a time or somewhere in the teens. A lot of those 100 low lead aircraft do not hold a lot of fuel, so that's actually pretty significant. That brings our total yearly amount of gallons to 276,800 gallons. Versus the 252 gallons for 2021. So as everybody can see, all this claiming of the growth of the airport, the traffic increase of the airport, it's not just, spouting off. It's proven by the numbers that you can see the significant increase in traffic at the airport. And again, a lot of that just comes down to the type of service that we offer at the airport and that we're trying to continue to grow and expand and giving people what they're not getting at other airports, which is making sure to treat everybody like a VIP when they land. So, with that, I'll stand for any questions.
The low, is most of that self-serve, the low lead?
Actually, no, most of it's full serve. actually. So, like for the month of December, our self-serve actually decreased versus the same time in December of last year. We had a drop of 1,139 gallons in self-serve between December 2021 and December 2022. So more people are choosing full serve. And again, that's because, you know, we offer to clean their windows. They want to come in, they explore the FBO, because we're getting a lot more individuals coming in that have never been to our airport before. So they're really excited to see what we have to offer. They like engaging with the staff that we have there, because we try to be very friendly with everybody, you know, make their stay here is just as important as if they go anywhere else. So.
Well, Josh, I can tell you these numbers are great. I know for probably 3 or 4 years ago, for the past 10 years, we were doing about 120,000 gallons of Jet A per year and about 30,000 gallons of Hunter Low Lead. So these are significant differences. I mean, this is great. I mean, it's almost doubled.
And I actually didn't know that amount of gallons from prior to me getting here, but yeah, it definitely is. And, you know, we're still growing. I mean, sure, you being out at the airport, you can see it. We're still getting more and more traffic, more and more larger jets are coming into our airport.
What do you contribute to the growth? Is it this growth of the city? Is it is it the service that they're getting from you guys? Is it everything, you think? But we've had such a consistent growth over the past several years. The casino.
I like to be a little bit selfish on my part and say it's the customer service that they're getting, but I think it is.
Comments about your service, I really do.
I do believe that is a contributing factor, because I know we have a lot of aircraft that come in and they're telling us, you know, they're reading on ForeFlight and stuff like that, and they're hearing nothing but positive things about the airport and how great the customer service is. But I also think the extension of the runway helped us as well. The growth of the casino has definitely been another factor. We're becoming more of a destination travel than just a pass-through for a lot of people, because we get a lot of people coming in that are going out to Lake Texoma and enjoying time out there, or they're wanting to come into Durant and explore, or, you know, also too, it's the ease of access for our airport. We do have aircraft come in where they'll drive down to DFW for meetings, or Sherman Denison, rather than fly into GYI or North Texas Regional, they'll choose to come here. So, but I would like to think that, you know, all that combined plus the customer service that they get is definitely contributing factors.
Well, I think you're right. So everywhere I go, if a line guy comes up and says, "Hey, you guys need anything?" then I always buy something, you know, get
Right.
gas. And I think that's the main difference is whenever over the past 2-3 years, you guys have started doing that. And I think that's, you know, picking up a lot of these jet sales that, you know, if you don't ever say anything to a lot of these jet guys, they won't buy anything.
Correct.
And I mean, because they're just like, we'll just take our coffee ice papers and be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's someone else's money, so I mean, they're okay with spending it. You just got to kind of solicit it, right?
Correct. And that was something that I definitely learned from working up in New Mexico at an airport up there with a lot of the corporate and charter aircraft that we'd get in and out of there. You definitely want to make contact with the individuals and like I said, make them feel, you know, welcome and everything else. So.
How is the staffing right now? I knew that in previous meetings you had talked about looking for more staffing. How is that coming along?
It's actually great. We've got one position for line that we're working on filling right now. And then for the old ops manager position that's there, I'm actually going to be revamping that to a line supervisor position. So that way we have a supervisor out there that oversees all the line staff, which will help to create the maintenance supervisor position. So we can have some of our staff taking care of all the hangars, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done on these hangars, a lot of maintenance done to them, the vehicles. Also too, with the line supervisor, that'll help us more with our fuel audits, our inspections, the filter changes, hose changes, you know, a lot of that stuff, as well as the fuel testing that needs to be done on a monthly basis, stuff like that. So that's definitely going to help us, which we're in the process right now too of trying to get on the military contract fuel program. And a big part of that is making sure that our inspections are being conducted on a daily basis, making sure our fuel checks are being done, testing and everything else. So.
Did you want to go over administration discussion on utility easement and placement?
Yes, I absolutely can, if y'all are ready for that. So on the back of that packet, you'll notice there's a photograph. What I did was I blew up a section of this board right here. I brought this in so everybody could get accustomed with the airport and where we're talking about. What drew us to this point is we have a hangar that's being proposed to be built out at the airport right now. Well, in doing some research on that, we've come to realize that we have absolutely no utility easements at the airport that have been put in place, whether it's for power, natural gas, anything like that. So what we've done is I had a meeting with Mr. Markham and Ms. Taylor in regards to the possible creation of a utility easement. Or a utility easement corridor, if you will. What this is going to do is this is going to allow us to create a 25-foot wide utility corridor at the airport to where the utility companies will be able to come in and lay these lines, which will give us better access for future development at the airport. Where this easement is going to look at going, if you look, is right over here. While the road is not there right now, we are working with Mr. Walkup with Maps and GIS as well as KSA to define all the property lines out here. Once we have that in place, we're going to look at scheduling a meeting with OG&E and O&E to come out and discuss about them coming in and putting a utility easement or creating the utility easement and having them run their natural gas lines down where this proposed road is and up. Reason for this is because this is a future development area for the airport that we want to look at getting into so we can expand the airport more. If we can get this to run parallel with this road and placement down there, we can already have that set in place for the road to get created, and this is going to be able to deliver all the gas and other utilities that these hangars might need for the creation of them up to where our current hangar 12 is. That's number 11 on your sheet. That is the new hangars there, as we like to call them, and that's hangar building 12. We know we've got a proposed hangar that looking at being built where the number 10 is, and that hangar, I believe, is 125 by 150 for that hangar. And then we've also got a possible proposal that we're not sure on yet. It's still in talks. But there's talks of a 200 by 200 hangar being built out by hangar 12. With this utility easement in place, this is going to make it easier for future expansion, future hangars being built, offices possibly being built off of these hangars to supply them with heat, water, electric, you know, whatever utilities they may need. And this way also too, we have everything in one central location. It's not spread all over. We're not doing, because if we were to go with the current direction the utility lines are laid, they come right up Nolan Avenue right here, cross over and come up the backside here, which a lot of that does go onto where the current pickling plant is. And so this way, we nullify all the issues here. We have everything rerouted in one central line, everything centrally located, it's protected. That way also too, it's easier for maintenance and repairing anything. Nobody's sitting there jumping around trying to figure out where everything's located or anything like that. Also too, for the future, we don't really project a whole lot being built along this access road once it gets put in place. So that would also mean that these lines would not be interfered with a whole lot. And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
So this is going on the west side of the pickling plant?
Correct, yes. So the number 15 on your diagram there, that is the stall building, I believe it is, where all the wood trestles and everything else is out in their yard. This would be right along that fence line towards the back. Also, too, what this does is it gives us an easier access for putting in the fencing once we get moving forward with the perimeter fencing project.
So essentially, this new road is going to be the entryway to the airport, to the hangars.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yep, and then we would have another jump off right there where the number 9 is. You see that other road right there?
Yeah.
That's the creation for that, as well as parking spots for Magnolia Aviation, Mid-Continental Avionics that are back there, as well as the other 2 corporate hangars that are currently there. Give us some actual parking spaces there, easier in and out access for it than what it currently is. Also, too, number 6 is the large red hangar that's out there. That's where a lot of our jet traffic currently occurs from out there. And this way, too, we reroute a lot of that traffic from back there so we don't have any issues with aircraft taxiing back there to be parked or helicopters that might take off from or land over in that area. Because right now, all that traffic that comes out to the airport to get to Magnolia or Mid-Continental or anything on that backside currently has to go through where Bray Aviation currently operates a lot of their jets out of. So we reduce the risk or mitigate the risks, if you will, of any vehicle versus aircraft accidents, pedestrian versus aircraft incidents or accidents. And it also makes it a lot safer for the operation of the airport personnel and tenants.
What about fencing?
So, fencing. Yes, we are still looking into possible grants. I know we're currently researching the availability of a possible grant through Department of Homeland Services or Homeland Security. DHS, to utilize maybe possibly some grants through them, as well as FAA grants for the wildlife perimeter fence. It's still in discussion. I wish I could give better information, but it is still in the initial stages of trying to find the grants for the funding, because that's going to be an extensive project, as I'm sure everybody's aware, because we would be doing a perimeter around the entire airport property, not just the current location of the airport, but the entire property.
Yeah, I was just trying to envision how the fence would work with the new road and.
It basically, it would run, so we would have gated access over here, kind of back right off this area right here. We'd have a gated access right there. And then the fence line would run down this way, or we could have it come down this way and around. Basically where this black line, that's where we're envisioning the perimeter fence to go.
Okay.
Around the airport property.
Oh, I see it now.
It would be an 8 to 10 foot high fence with 3-strand barbed wire on top.
So what is the future airfields development area and the aviation compatible development area? What is that?
So this is just this was just designated this way for possible development out there. We get a company that wants to come in, that wants to utilize the airport for work or projects or something like that. This would give them an area where they could look at building their facilities that would not impact the actual operational area, the runway protected area, building restriction lines or anything like that. It would give them access, and then we could work on getting access to the runway should it be needed or something like that.
So the blue is in the protected area.
This right here, yes. So this is actually just outside the building restriction line right here, and this would be more for, say UPS wanted to build a distribution facility out there and put a parking ramp. We could create that within this blue area, and then they would have a access stub that would go out to their ramp that their pilot could then deviate off of, or another entity wanted to use the airport for transportation or distribution abilities.
Huh.
So, and I just use UPS because that's the first one that comes to my mind. So.
Whoa. Anybody have any other questions for Josh? good job.
Exciting
Thank you.
stuff.
Any, so I guess new business, is there any new business? Nothing on this paper, but. No new business. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And do we vote on that one, or is that just?
Board Member Dufer,
I motion, or, yes.
Board Member Moore,
Adjourn, yes.
Board Member Olson,
Yes.
Board Member Tucker,
Yes.
Board Member Thomas.
Yes.
It's a little different being old Dan.